What's going on, guys? I'm the Retro Beast and welcome to another video. So I'm working on a few projects. This is just going to be one of those videos to kind of go in between those. I'm working on a new series, though that will probably not come out in a while. I just started it. Like, I have the script written, but like nothing else. And I'm also working on what's next for Mario Part 2, but that is a similar thing. I'm writing the script, so I'm very early to the process of those, so I thought I would want to get a video out here on the channel. So today I'm reviewing my favorite video game console of all time, the Nintendo 64. So many great games. I know many people who grew up with the PS1, Sega Saturn say that this had the weakest library in those three systems, but I think that's ridiculous. Like, okay, so basically I'm going to go over the console controllers and games, and I wanted to pick 10 games that that are like the best. Not like the best games, but the games you have to get if you're going to get an N64. And that was incredibly challenging just to pick 10. I have about 30 right now, but I'm going for much bigger. I want a complete collection eventually, even with Clay Fighter, Sculptors Card, and everything. So, yeah, so it's going to be very difficult to pick out 10, and probably 10 years from now or whatever, I'm looking back on this, I'm going to say I should have picked some other games, but that doesn't matter. We're going to get straight to the review. So here is the console. I think this is a very, very simple and clean console that just obviously is not doing anything special, but it's not hurting anyone. So on the top here you have on-off switch and reset. There's no eject button, but honestly, when do you ever need an eject button, like ever? Like, that's never actually ever used. I guess it's just if you can't get the game out, but that never happens. It's not the Retron 5. So, it has these legs, which keeps it stable, or helps for stability, and it just looks cool. You've got the Nintendo 64 label, you have fan here, and up here, you may notice that there's a slot. And luckily, if you bought a Nintendo 64 on eBay and it comes with this little red thing, you're in luck, because that is the expansion pack. Necessarily, you're always going to want to get the expansion pack. Not only does it make games look better, like it looks like it improves the game's graphics a lot. Like, The World Is Not Enough is great, we'll get to that. And Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, Turok 2, games like that. Well, Turok 2 I don't think it works very well, but that's not the point. Helps a lot, and also some games that you cannot play without it, like Majora's Mask, Donkey Kong 64, and Perfect Dark. All games which you're going to want to play, so I highly recommend getting that. Most likely it will not come with that. It will come with the Jumper Pack, which looks a little different. So make sure it has either the Jumper Pack or the Expansion Pack, because you're going to need it to play your games. But either way, it's great. But just make sure you get this expansion pack, because it's going up in price. It's now going for like probably $25. I got mine for pretty cheap. I got it for like $35 with Donkey Kong 64. So I got a pretty good deal. But especially with the N64, things are always going up. So you're going to want to, if you ever want to get into retro gaming, ever want to get into the N64, buy as soon as possible, because games just go up in price. Systems go up in price. I got this for like $25 a few years ago, and now that's ridiculous. So definitely, if you want to get into retro gaming, get into it now. It's a great market. Even though things are expensive still, they're only going to get more. So jump on it if you want to get into that. Let's get on to the controllers. So here, I have a few over here. Here is, well, let's move the system out of the way. Here is your basic Nintendo 64 controller. Now, if you've never played the Nintendo 64, and even at the time, they were very confused, because you see, you have your D-pad, analog stick, and buttons. People are like, I don't have 3 hands, I can't reach all of this. So, mainly, let's just, for starters, when you're holding for 2D games, when you have it like this, it's kind of awkward the way I'm doing it right now, but you have L and R, D-pad, comfy grips, so you have A and B, and start, C buttons. C buttons are kind of weird. Wish it was kind of like A, B, and then maybe X, Y or something, and then 2 C buttons. But I get used to them, you know. It's not a PS1 controller, let's just be honest. It's not going to be that comfortable, but it does well what it's doing for 2D games. And then for 3D games, you may notice that there's a button down here. So the only way to access it is to put your hand down here and then get your buttons here. And if you ever need to move to the D-pad, just move your hand. So that works on many levels. People do not like that you have to put your hand down here, and some people are still confused. I think it works perfectly, you know. Some games don't even use the D-pad and the L button. You just put your hand down here, use the Z button down here. Get a better look at that. I don't know, he's pretty dark, but there's a button down there. And I think it works very well. Some games, it works much better, like first-person shooters. It's like you're pulling a trigger, like it really brings in the immersion for those 64-bit games. And overall, I think it's a pretty good controller. It's a little confused at the beginning, but once you get used to it, you'll love it. It's a pretty good controller, and it's made for a lot of the 3D games that were on that. And 2D games work fine with the D-pad as well. But I would recommend, before we get to that, here's another one, Atomic Purple. See, they did a bunch of these really cool colors, and same with the system, called the Funtastic line, and those were see-through, really cool colors. This is probably the most common Funtastic, because I don't have that much money, but those go for a lot of money now, especially the consoles. Those will go for like almost, some of them over double the price of their normal console. So yeah, I would go for the regular color of the console so you can save money for games. But make sure you get the Nintendo branded controller, because see, those go for a little more on eBay, because you can get a third-party thing. I don't know if all third-party things are equal, but here's one. I don't want to untie it, but it broke immediately. It stopped working, and the stick, everything just feels cheaper. It's just not good. So I don't know how other ones are, but this is like generic brand. You don't want this. Get the real stuff. And some will say loose stick, tight stick. All that means is how, like, these sticks tend to wear out. So really what it comes down to is you're going to want to look for tight, because that's just how new it is. When it's loose, it sometimes goes to the side a little too much. You just want to keep it as in pristine condition. So we gotta go quickly, because I don't want this video to be 10 million years. So let's get to some games. Like I mentioned, I picked 10, which I think you're definitely gonna need if you want a solid 64 collection. All great games, some multiplayer, some single player, and some of these are expensive, so I wouldn't recommend getting them immediately, but you're gonna need at least like these 10 games eventually in collection. All great games. So let's start off with my favorite Nintendo 64 game. Spoiler for any future top 10 I do. Paper Mario. This game is one of those games which will always be like my favorite game. The nostalgia, just how great it is. This is a fantastic RPG. And yes, it's an RPG. It's in the same line as the other Paper Mario games like T2ID, Thousand Year Door, and Super Paper Mario, even though it's not really an RPG. Great game. I can't wrap up everything it is in one like sentence or whatever I'm trying to do. So it's not like Chrono Trigger. It's not that type of RPG, and yet I still like it more for some reason. It's just more charming. The battle system is incredibly fun. Music outstanding. The only way I can express it is just for you playing it yourself. You gotta try it out. Though it is going for a little bit more than it was on eBay, so get it while you can. It's a great game. You can also get it on a virtual console, I think. I know you can get it on the Wii, but you can't buy virtual console games on the Wii anymore. So maybe it's on the Wii U. I don't remember. I think it is. So next, if you were to get one game, I would get The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This is the fan favorite for the best Zelda game, the best N64 game, and sometimes people say it's the best game of all time. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think the beginning of the game is a little slow, and I was originally thinking, like, everyone's saying this is the best game of all time, and it's not that great, but I got deeper into it, and then you become an adult in the game, and the Forest Temple is awesome. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. Love this game. It defined 3D Zelda games for what they are today, and I would highly recommend trying that out. If you've never played a 3D Zelda game, this is a great one to start with. It's also on the 3DS, so you don't have to buy an N64 for this one, but if you have one, pick it up. Next, okay, so I have 11 games because I'm counting 2 games as one because it's a series. And these are probably my second and third favorite N64 games. These have to be the Banjo-Kazooie games. So forget Tooie for a second. Banjo-Kazooie, the very original, is made by Rareware. I'm sure you know from my What's Next for Rareware. Rareware. great platformer. I love 3D platformers. It's in the same vein as Super Mario 64, but this one just has fantastic music, great composer, Grant Kirkhope, and the level design is great. It's nice and colorful, and the dialogue is charming, and everything just so happy and colorful, and definitely a great game. Now here comes Tooie. This one is in great condition, this cartridge, but it's another outstanding game. Very similar, very charming. It's a little more open world. You have a little more freedom, and some people like that, some people don't. I'm kind of on the fence. I might like it better than Kazooie. I'm not really sure. It's not as happy. It's more dark and disturbing, which I actually like. I like that it took a slightly darker tone. So definitely get those two. Definitely just games you're going to need for the system. Okay, so here's another 3D platformer. Dangang 64. I can't talk forever, but people don't love this game. They've recently realized how there's so much to collect and stuff. I love the game. Very similar to Banjo-Kazooie. I would play the game, Kazooie games first, but I would go for this one if you're a fan of Donkey Kong or not. Great game. Check it out. Now, if you're going to get a N64, you got to get a Mario Party game. Here's my favorite, Mario Party 3. It's the only one I have for the 64. But I have two for the Wii U Virtual Console. Both great games, but I think 3 edges it out a little more. Great game. This is actually a reproduction cartridge. If you don't know what that means, it's basically just, it was not made originally. Some fan made it. I don't really know how reproduction cartridges work, but they're cheaper, and I don't hate them as long as they're high quality. So recommend getting a Mario Party game, and this is probably the cheapest, and maybe, and the best, so in my opinion. So check it out. Okay, so now, first-person shooters were awesome. There were the Turok games, of course, GoldenEye. I'm not going to show GoldenEye right now, but again, GoldenEye classic. I have not played Perfect Dark. I do have it, so I thought I was going to go with 007, The World Is Not Enough. I have this one in the box. It's one of the only games I have in the box. I have, like, one more, but great game. I actually like this one better than GoldenEye, mainly because of the single player. The weapon selection is great. The graphics are better. It uses the expansion pack, which makes the game look great. It's just a really fun game. It has a lot more, it has varied gameplay compared to GoldenEye. I feel like GoldenEye got old quickly. This, like the Night Watch level was awesome. I love the ski level, and it's just such a fun game. I have not played the multiplayer yet, but I hear that the AI bots are really cool, and I'm looking to get more. I'm actually in the middle of playing it right now, and I'm looking forward to playing the rest. But I would recommend this game so far because I've played it a few times and I love it. Now, Star Fox 64, another classic. You know, it's sad because Star Fox is more known for memes now than actual gameplay. But Star Fox 64 universally is the fan favorite in the series. It's a great spaceship shooter. Like, there's no great. The Star Fox like series, there's no like genre it's in. It kind of defines its own thing, and it's wonderful. It's an amazing game, and you can beat it in like an hour to 2 hours. But there's like different paths, and I always find myself going back to it. So check it out. You can probably get it on the 3DS, Virtual Console, whatever it takes. So check out this game. Now again, have to mention it. Super Mario 64, nothing to say. Well, just something to say. It's defined the 3D platformer genre. It's an incredibly just fantastic game. Even now, the fan service that Nintendo gave in Odyssey for people who have nostalgia over this game, just an amazing game. And to have it on the N64, even if you have it on a million other consoles, just to have it for the classic system, you have to have it in your collection. So, highly recommend picking this one up. Now, I got 2 more games. Okay, I'll go for a pretty interesting pick from left field. So this would be Diddy Kong Racing. Now, you're not going to see Mario Kart 64 because I think that game's kind of broken. It's weird. This game is outstanding. Not only is the multiplayer great, with all the different modes and characters. It has like Conker and Banjo from their respective games, but also the single player is amazing. Like there's a hub world, there's levels. Like I haven't played this game in a while, but it's just an amazing game. Definitely pick it up if you want some racing action, and it's cheaper than Mario Kart 64, so definitely get this one. And to cap off the list, all my games fell over, I have possibly one of my favorite games. I don't know how this is going to look on camera, but this is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, there's it's a hologram on these things, so I don't know how it looks on camera, but this game is so good. I have not beaten it. I'm up to like the Snowhead Temple, and it's a great game. I probably saying all these adjectives a million times, but if you like Ocarina of Time, play that first. You should play that first either way, but this game, you're gonna have to give it a try. It's an incredible, it's very creepy. It has a great like creepiness to it, and just atmosphere and story and music. Everything, like the music is very like sad and crazy. You just gotta try it out. It's absolutely insane, but it's absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite Zelda. It probably is my favorite Zelda game, even from only playing the beginning. Like I knew a lot about it before I played it, so I can already call it one of my favorite Zelda games before that. But great game. So this took longer than I thought, but I knew since the 64 is one of my favorites. It is my favorite system actually. It's gonna have to make a little extra room for this. So thank you guys for checking out this video. I know it's been a little while. Thank you guys for making it to the end. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. I would highly appreciate it. It's like, I know this video isn't going to be the highest quality thing or anything, but I just wanted to put something else on the channel, so please press that like button, highly appreciate it, and also leave a comment give me your feedback on the video. Tell me if you request any videos, just tell me whatever you think, and also, you can subscribe for more content. I'm planning to put more on the channel. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a empty spot recently. Like I promised in What's Next for Rareware a few months ago, I was gonna put a lot more on the channel, and I really didn't. But this has taken a while, so thank you guys for checking out the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.